This is my display at the Glen Pioneer Museum for Education Day, where approximately 350 grade 7 and 8 students came through the different displays that these living historians who give of their time, their knowledge, and their skills demonstrated. My hat's off to the whole lot of them. In addition to the many artisans and their skills demonstrations, we get an intimate look into the life of the soldier of the War of 1812 with their drills and what it would have been like to be on the battlefield in the War of 1812. And here we have Pat Taylor in the blacksmith shop, who's demonstrating how pistol barrels were made. A personal highlight for me is always the evening campfires, the music and the camaraderie. So once again, almost a year later to the date,
Yeah.
I'm here with Holly Bennison, and Holly has a YouTube channel that is by Golly Miss Holly.
It is indeed.
It's
yeah.
a fantastic channel. I suggest you have a peek, and we'll put a link below in our description. But you've had a busy year.
Yes, well, this time last year, we were chatting about, I was just starting my master's thesis project, and it was on my YouTube channel, of course, and it was a culinary history series about cooking in the 1850s specifically from one cookbook. And now I've finished the thesis. I've submitted the paper. It's about 83 pages long, 10 episodes complete on the channel.
Nice.
And it's a major accomplishment. It feels really good to be done with the project.
And now you're done with academia, at least in the short term, and into the real work world?
Yes, yes. Well, being a historian, I feel like you're a student forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But certainly with university and things like that.
And your new job?
And my new job, yes, I work in a museum, exactly like I was hoping, which is wonderful.
The path led you in the right direction?
Yes, exactly. The path, I forged the path exactly to the destination I was hoping to get to.
And you're going to share some good food with me today?
Yes, so I'm hoping to walk you through a bit of a culinary experiment. I have a new kitchen gadget, I guess you could call it, and I'm going to be cooking some Irish food today for the 100th Regiment.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You were mentioning sort of a survival type of food that they might have brought across the ocean.
Yes, yeah. So oat cakes is kind of the one that I'm trying, and this I don't want to spoil the gadget, but it does have to do with oat cakes specifically.
Okay.
And I've never made oat cakes, even in real life, so it's kind of a first, both historical and over the fire and all that. So.
And I'm going to be the guinea pig.
And you're going to be the guinea pig.
Perfect. Shall we go do some cooking?
Sounds good.
Cheers.
Cheers. So I'm here in the 100th Regiment camp, and I'm working on making oat cakes this morning. And I was inspired because the 100th Regiment was originally raised in Dublin, Ireland, and many of us have Irish heritage. So my theme for cooking in camp today is all Irish recipes, Irish cooking, and I have a very special tool to make the oat cakes called a harnen stand. It's my first time using it. It's actually my first time making oat cakes, so it's all one big experiment. And so far, it's working out quite well. So I've got here some steel-cut oats, a bit of salt, and hot boiling water. And I've kind of just constituted it together, and my first thought was, it's not going to stick. What is this? No flour, no eggs. But of course, the oats, they do get a bit, I want to describe it more like a gel. I mean, you see this with instant oats when you put, for breakfast with your hot kettle, and it's kind of doing the same thing. So it's already sticking together. In the next step, I'm just going to dust my board here with some flour, kind of knead it together, form it into a cake, and then put it over the fire to toast. Sorry. So that might be a bit too floury, but that's the point of experimenting. We'll see how it works, if it works. So that is a happy little oat cake. That one's got a good amount of flour on it, I think, and I'm honestly surprised. Just the texture it's very solid. It's sticking together without complaint, and that is a nice looking oat cake. So we're just putting the oat cake in without any butter. It's basically just going to be a dry toast just to kind of help all the pieces stick together. And then the final step will be putting it on the harnen to dehydrate. And the reason why we dehydrate is because when there's no moisture, this is going to last you a really long time. So if you're crossing the ocean, if you're on a ship, this is going to be something that you're bringing with you from home. Ooh, nice. That looks good. I already kind of feel it's crisping up on the top, so I think this should be pretty good. So this is my harnen stand. It's a very, very specific tool for dehydrating oat cakes. And this one I had made for me by some blacksmiths because, of course, where would you go to buy a harnen stand? You can't really do that. Now this one is based on a couple of designs of extant 18th century harnen stands from Ireland. And I kind of, blacksmiths, they had fun with things like this. It wasn't just practical, but it was also decorative. So a couple of the design elements that I really liked from some of the artifacts were the squiggle along the bottom, the heart that's included in the center here, and then the prong in the back is actually kind of like a twisted fork. So I really liked all those, and I sent some reference photos over of these artifacts, and I said, hey, can you do something like this? And then, of course, as many blacksmiths do, they added their own touch by including an H for Holly on the top. So it's got the reproduction elements from the 18th century artifacts, but then it also has that kind of contemporary artisanal touch, which I'm really excited about because it looks like it came out of an Irish kitchen from the 18th and 19th century. So I'm excited to use it, and I think the oat cakes are turning out quite well so far. So we'll see what's next. It's perfect. You could dehydrate this forever, really, but I mean, we're hungry, so we'll give it a shot. So
let's go.
Here we go. Oh, that crunch,
good, right?
Okay, a piece of cheese.
A wee bit of Cheshire.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh wow. Cheers.
Bon appetit.
That's not bad.
It's really good.
That's not bad. See, now I'm thinking, oh, it'd be so good with some jam. Some jam and some cheese just melted, like an apple slice. That's like bougie.
Didn't you mention, right? Didn't you mention some custard or
yeah.
Lemon and...
yeah, I've got a lemon and lime curd, so we can try the savory version and we can try a sweet version.
Sounds good.
Yeah, okay.
This is round one.
All right, let's do it.
Cheers to that.
Okay, so part two, we got lemon and lime curd, so this is the sweet version. As we discovered, the oat cakes themselves don't really taste like much on their own, but they're a vessel for flavor.
They are that. Well, let's see. With a wee bit of lemon.
Yeah. That's pretty good too.
You think so?
With a nice cup of tea?
That's grand.
I think that'd be lovely.
Oh. Simply grand.
Oh yeah. I think it's so interesting that you think it'd turn out like to have a scone consistency, but it's more like a cracker. And the harnen to dehydrate, and this is, you'd be bringing this overseas when you immigrated from Ireland to Canada or wherever, and because no moisture means it's going to last longer. So you just leave that in your pantry, or you bring it on a ship, you bring it on your travels. I mean, this is
survival food.
Survival food, certainly, but it's like your everyday kind of daily driver. That's why we have tools that are specific to this one type of recipe. If people were making them so much to develop technology for it specifically, that says something, right? So it's very interesting, and I'm very pleased with this experiment.
Do you think the topping here would make the journey across the ocean?
I don't know about that one.
We'll eat it up quick.
Oh, yes.
Oh. Well done.
Yummy. So I'm working on lunch now here in camp, and unfortunately the men are going off to battle, so hopefully lunch today will be a bit of a taste of home. It's Irish black pudding with some potato cakes, fried up with seasonal apples.
That was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad being the guinea pig.
Yeah, anytime for your cooking.
Yeah.
So I don't think maybe we could recap the ingredients. I'm not
Yeah.
sure we covered that.
For sure. So I use steel cut oats as the base, and then you put a couple of pinches of salt in it. And salt is not, I mean, I guess it could be for flavor, but the preserving kind of agent as well. Boiling water, and then you just form the cakes in flour, and that's it.
Yeah, it was delicious. And that's a peasant's food or a poor man's food.
Pretty much. I mean, that's just your kind of standard fare.
Staple.
If you're just the average person in Ireland at that time, and even, of course, the food travels as people travel as well. So if you're an Irish family, you come to Canada. Scottish as well had oat cakes too. So you'd be making those here with the resources that you had available once you made it to Canada as well. So it's interesting that way that the food travels as the people travel.
Indeed. And for lunch, you fed the troops. How did they receive you?
Yes, it was very good. I mean, black pudding is very traditional, but most people probably haven't had it. So when you say it's got oats in it, it's got pork in it, it has cow blood in it, hopefully. But
I watched them gobbling it up, though, and they didn't seem to mind
it's,
the blood aspect
it's
of
fried
it.
in butter. You can't go wrong
when you use butter.
Yeah, but so that with some apples, and that's kind of nice, fresh, and then potato cake. So all in all, it went over very well. I think we'll be making that one again.
I sampled it all.
Yeah.
It was grand.
Yeah,
it was grand.
It was a good hearty lunch.
So you discussed earlier about sort of changing gears with your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Where's it heading?
I mean, I'm definitely going to still be doing culinary stuff. Of course, the big challenge with the thesis location was that it was about a 3-hour drive. And it's kind of difficult when you don't have school as kind of the reason to do it. So I'd love to keep doing sort of more culinary history videos, experimentation, but it would probably be like mostly just in my modern kitchen. So that's going to be kind of a big change, but still like talking about the history, the same kind of research and all that. I also did a lot of textile-related history before I did my thesis, so knitting, sewing, and I'm hoping to do that again. Speaking to some of the other reenactors this weekend has given me a lot of ideas about things that people in this community are looking for, so I'm thinking, maybe some more tutorials or kind of things like that. Backed with research, of course, and just still sticking with Canadian history is the main theme.
We've had a wee bit of sport with the name, and you say that you're thinking of changing it. I think it's a grand name.
Yes, well, I had thought about changing it, but I think I've made enough videos now that people recognize the name, so I don't really have a choice. I have to keep it.
It's got a label. I think it's.
I
think it's grand. Well, I can't thank you enough. This has been fun.
Yes, well, I'm glad that we could quite literally break bread.
Yes, we did that. Finally, I got to taste that.
Yes.
I watch it. I just never get to taste it. I can almost taste it.
Yeah.
Kelly Station's not very far away. It's closer than your previous cooking site, so you would be welcome at our hearth.
That would be wonderful.
As long as you do prepare the meal.
As long as, of course. It sounds like a good bargain.
You've been a great sport. Thank you very much.
Thank you.